Hello Internet, I'm Guy. Surrounding me here are artworks that I've created over the last 40 or so years. And there are about 3 different bodies of work here. The principal body of work, the most of them here, are devices that are sculptures that are intended to satirize our implicit trust in electronic numbers. I'm not talking about computer screens, I'm talking about calculators and gas pumps where there's specific displays designed only to show numbers. So I'm going to walk you through and look at some of these more closely shortly. There's other pieces like this one right here, which I call a light painting, and this orange one over here, which I call an entropy series, and I made a number of those. There's another light painting beyond it over there, and we'll get to that later. So these pieces are all called digital numeric relevators, and then they have a subtitle. So one of them will be Digital Relevator Mark I, and then a subtitle after that. The word relevator is something I made up, and it's the purpose of a relevator is to generate and display irrelevant numerical information. So let's start over here, and we'll look at this piece. This is not one of the first ones I made, but I actually made it look like it's a very old piece. So it is made with wood, with the box corner joints. There's a circuit board that I made to make an antique looking sign on the front. And then these vacuum tubes, that are called Nixie tubes, these were originally mounted on the Pacific Stock Exchange. These were the ticker back in the 1950s. These actual tubes, not ones just like them. So they're beginning to age in a little bit. You can see some of them are not working very well, and that's part of the story for this work, is that these numbers are unreliable. So they may age, they may do strange things. So then let's look at this one to the right of it. This is relevator number 1. Even though I didn't make it as the first one, I had saved the designation for 1 for these particular Nixie tubes, again, antique vacuum tubes. These ones actually came out of digital voltmeters that apparently had been in a nuclear submarine, according to the little labels on it. So I wanted to evoke again that this was made back in that time. So I'm making, the base is made from bakelite, the front panel is copper and brass and all that kind of thing, wood base. And you can see it's really beautiful the way the numbers move up and down in that space there. So then to the right of that is this other one. This is intended to look like it's broken, as if there are numbers just tumbling down and falling off, and none of them make any sense. They do show numbers occasionally. There's one in particular right here on the bottom left that got damaged in shipping to a museum in England, and when it came back, I realized, this is fine. It works just great because it's part of the story, part of the narrative. This stuff is all broken. So let's see, what else have we got here? This one right here is called Red Rain for fairly obvious reasons. It was inspired by the song, Peter Gabriel's song, Red Rain. And I just wanted to program it to do this raining thing with numbers. It was just kind of a fun, playful thing to do. This one up here is called Bubble Sorter. And again, I'm referring to the subtitle. I don't remember the mark number or model number. And again, in the bubble numbers here, which are actually hidden behind a little cast acrylic bubble, I'm really deconstructing the numbers again. I'm breaking them up. Most of them don't make any sense whatsoever. So now let's drop down to some of the more recent ones here, which I consider like executive toys, basically. So this little square one with the red, green, and blue numbers, basically below each number, there's a little photocell. And if I hide it with my thumb, as you can see here, the numbers drop. So these numbers can produce a number anywhere from, in the 0.2 to 3 range all the way up to 12. And it's just an arbitrary range of numbers. And basically they're always changing in direct response to the ambient light. To the right of it here, I have another one which uses little LCD displays, the kind of thing you see in a lot of products all over the place. But what I did was I wrote lots and lots of little subroutines for it to do just crazy, silly, goofy things. In the bottom here, it's filled with black sand, and the whole idea, again, for this one is to make it look like it's a pile of broken stuff, like you might see in a science fiction movie like Blade Runner or something, maybe. And then to the right of it is another little black one. Notice again, of course, I'm doing all this acrylic fabrication myself. I'm kind of an expert at that. So this one, again, is supposed to look like a broken toy or a broken executive toy. You can see that the background is fading up and down randomly, and the numbers are just piling up all over the place. To the right of that, this one shows numbers just swirling around, and every time it shows up at that particular location, it will be a different number. This one uses very, very primitive electronics, because this was one of the earliest ones I made in the 1980s, before I was using embedded control computers. So this is just digital logic right here. Let's see, let's go around to the right. Oh, let's take a moment here and look in the corner here. So I have got my breaker panel here, and then above it, I have something that refers to exactly what we're talking about here. This is the device that shows numbers. What it's showing is the power coming out of a solar panel mounted onto the side of my house. And then below and to the right of that here, the blue item, is a solar power inverter that's showing the amount of power from a small solar power array on the ground outside my house. So I think it's funny that my artwork here is reflecting the irrelevance of these numbers, if you will, or should I trust them? I don't know. So this is another piece down here that is one of the first self-titled pieces. So if you push the button on the bottom, it'll title the whole piece, and then it'll go back into doing what it does, which is throwing up random numbers. So I can keep going here. Let's see. Let's look at this triptych over here, the blue, red, and green ones. There's a bit of a story behind these, because the red one was the first one I made. These are made because I got these little plastic domes. They're left over from, I think, projection TVs from the 1980s. You can't see the dome very well looking at straight on, but they're like little bubbles here. So I finished this one, and sometime later it had gone to a museum show somewhere, and it came back, and I thought, maybe I should do a green one. Now, if you notice, the red one is always showing numbers 0 through 9. So I thought, okay, why don't I mess around with it a bit, and I'll show only binary numbers, zeros and ones on this one. And I happen to have green ones that I bought when I bought the red ones at the same time. So now I've got a circle and a triangle. I've got, let's see, that's 8 and that's 9, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, no, 10. That's right, 10 bubbles here. And the thing that was missing at that point, I realized, okay, I've got to go red, green, blue. And I've got to go a different set of numbers and maybe show a different number type. So if we jump over to the blue one here, the problem I had was that I couldn't find electronic surplus parts that had blue domes from the old projection TVs. I have no idea why. So I had to cast and blow mold my own with a vacuum forming machine to make my own blue numbers, blue domes rather. These ones show numbers from 0 through 9 and 1 through F, or A through F, I'm sorry, which is hexadecimal. So what came together out of this triptych is you have hexadecimal, decimal, and binary. And then you have blue, red, and green, and you have square, circle, triangle. It's a very satisfying triptych for me, and it just developed over years. It was not something I intended originally. So further down over here, this is a piece I called Smoke on the Water, based on the song by Deep Purple. And it is one of my entropy series. So there are literally thousands of little LEDs that are turning on and off in the back of here. And these ones are constantly color fading. So it creates this smoky effect on the bottom there. And then to the right of that, this is one of my color field pieces, but it's also kind of a light painting. Its title is Cairo Sunset. So the idea is you see a pyramid behind the sun, or in front of the sun rather, and then the reflections on the water below that. So I'm pretty pleased with that one. The sense of water there is really very elegant, I think, because they're just LEDs that are blinking on and off. So that's a quick overview of those works. There are also all these woodworking wood pieces here, which are a series that I made that are legged-based wood structures and forms and sculptural forms. And let's see, have I missed anything? So thanks for looking at all of this with me. These works are all for sale. They're listed on my website, and I put a link below to the web page where these are all shown. And also I'm seeking gallery representation. So if you happen to be a gallery owner and you think you might want to display this work, let me know. My contact information will be in the description below.